This is the Songmics Ergonomic Office Chair. Okay, here we're looking at the Songmics Ergonomic Chair. This is a black mesh chair with adjustable armrests and a headrest. It has an adjustable backrest as well, including some lumbar support, and it can take up to 150 kilograms according to Songmics. It's not the most expensive chair in the world, retailing at about £160. However, I'm going to see how easy it is to put together and see just how relaxing it actually is. The package was received just the other day through the post. It was actually open when it arrived, so I'm hoping that all the parts are still here. I'm going to have to take them all out and inspect them. But let's dig in. So this is pretty much what the box was like when it arrived. The top was open and there isn't actually any packaging per se. So I don't know whether or not this was sent back and has been sent to me without actually being checked, following someone who had ordered it by mistake, or perhaps something was broken inside and they'd returned it. Noting now from the Amazon listing that there aren't any of this particular model of chair available to purchase anymore, which is a bit of a shame. Pulling everything out, everything's individually wrapped in bubble wrap. There's no polystyrene divisions in between the pieces, so they all rub against each other and bash against each other and are protected by a single layer of bubble wrap, aside from a few pieces that maybe have a bit of cardboard around them. The particularly weighty pieces, for example the piece that goes underneath the chair that has all the mechanisms for hiring and lowering the chair, and the gas cylinder height adjuster, is in a separate box. Alright, taking all the pieces out of the box, there's 7 pieces altogether, not including the wheels and the box that has all the bits and pieces inside it. There are a whopping 5 wheels, and then there's the gassy uppy downy thing inside the box, plus some screws and bits and pieces. But there was an additional piece that I didn't expect to find. A small piece of broken plastic. I know now where this comes from, but initially it had me a little bit concerned. Perhaps this is the reason why the chair may have been returned by a previous customer, not checked, and just sent out again by our chums over at Amazon. These really are the nuts and bolts of the whole operation. A package of washers and screws. Thankfully everything you need is here, and it's all nicely indicated as to what goes where and which is which is something I can't say for other self-assembly items that I've had in the past. Inside the little brown box, beside the washers and screws, is the gassy uppy downy thing. I believe that's the technical term. And you use this to make the chair go up and down at your leisure. The centerpiece to any uppy downy chair. The headrest has a large amount of mesh all over it, and it's actually quite a comfortable, cushiony experience to use. I was a bit dubious about some of the plastics used for connecting it to the chair. However, once they're in and the screws have attached the headrest to the main body of the chair, it's all very strong and I stopped being concerned about it. These are the arms, probably the most difficult bit to attach to the chair, and that was considerably easy. They are adjustable in all manner of ways, and I'm really quite pleased with the amount of flexibility these arms bring to the chair. The wheels, of which there are 5, are quite interesting. The actual rolling part of the wheel is a wee bit rubbery, which gives you good grip, and it doesn't slide too much when on a wooden or plastic surface. On a carpet, they're a wee bit heavier and grip a little better. It's one of those higher quality details that I'm beginning to like in this chair. The cushion, or ass part of the seat, is usually one of the hardest pieces to get right. They generally go after a while, they get softer, flatter. However, I have high hopes for this because it does have a decent amount of foamy stuffing inside, and combined with the mesh support does provide a rather comfortable. And then the back, which has this plastic mesh across it that is the lumbar support. It's quite flexible and allows you to lean back into it quite a bit, and combined with the mesh leads to a fairly relaxing experience. It's not as heavy as a cushion as you might find in another chair, and I'm sure it's obviously one of the reasons why this chair is a good bit cheaper than some of the higher quality executive chairs. But all in, the experience is quite nice, and I was quite impressed that this somewhat limited technology actually works almost as effectively as a big comfortable cushion. I do feel supported. I can push into it just that little bit more and gain more support if needed. So putting it all together, we started with the star, the base bit, the wheels attached to at the bottom of the chair, and popped the wheels in there, which was very simple to do, just a little bit of pressure, and the wheels went on. Next we slotted in the little gassy uppy downy bit that fit very snugly, but without any form of attachment other than a narrowing hole and the fact that you're sitting on it to keep it in place. The most complicated part was putting the arms onto the ass bit of the cushion, which involved a number of different screws being put into the bottom of it. At this point I noticed that the arms of the chair cannot go in and out from the seat part, which is one tiny limitation, but the flexibility of the arms is still rather good in comparison to other cheaper chairs out there. Once in place, we add the mechanism onto the bottom of the chair. This simply fits on with a bunch of screws and seems to be somewhat low profile in comparison to my old chair. And there's two flappy paddle controllers attached to this as well that allows you to adjust various bits and pieces about the seat, and we will come to that later on. The back part fits snugly into this mechanism from the back and is attached by 3 screws, as you can just about see at the base of the back cushion. Once this is done, the chair is pretty much built. The last thing we need to do is attach on the headrest to the back of the chair, and that goes on by 2 screws. You can see the headrest is adjustable with that circular tightener that allows you to push it in and out toward the back of your head and your neck. Then there's a square button that you can just about see above that allows you to adjust the height of the headrest, and then the headrest itself can be pitched to fit in nicely around the back of your skull. So to give you a bit of a grand tour of the features of the chair, we'll just go through them one by one. Here we have the headrest. It goes up and down like so, and then this button push in and it goes up, and then it goes back down again as well. It's somewhat flexible plastic. It doesn't look as high quality as it could have been. Turning this allows you to adjust the pitch so it's closer into your head depending on how far you're lying back. The plastic itself isn't the nicest. It could be a nicer form of plastic, but then this is the back of the chair we're talking about, so you shouldn't be really using it all that much or having to push it around that much. Down here, if you ignore the mess under the table there, you can see where that little piece of plastic goes. It just fits nicely in there, so I might have to get out the Gorilla Glue and do a little bit of repairing to get that in there. It's a bit of a shame this happened, but obviously it's to do with the amount of packaging that's inside the box during its transit. That's a bit of a shame that happened, but it goes to show that the plastic used here is not of the highest quality. This goes up and down as so, depending on where you need your lumbar support, so smaller people can have it way down there, and actually the cracked plastic affects whether or not I can raise or lower this as the chair requires. The lumbar support itself is very flexible and allows you to move quite a bit. It's quite striking in its design, and whilst it's bare bones looking, it still looks kind of stylish. Around the front, you don't notice it quite as much, however it is very evident that it's there. Then my favourite bits, which are the armrests, you can put them up. And there's some shiny steel here, which is fingerprinty, but still steel nonetheless. Allows you to push it up and down, which is very handy, and get it to just that right position. Then the pad itself that your elbow goes on is good, soft, rubbery type materials used. The rubberness of the wheels is quite nice. It does quite well on my carpet. It doesn't slide at all and doesn't feel like it's going to stick. But that remains to be seen with dust being accrued as the chair endures its life. Then there is the cushion itself. The mesh is very comfortable, very spongy, and it feels that it could take quite a bit of weight. For those that spend an awful lot of time sitting in these chairs, I do believe that this will provide ample support. The flappy paddles underneath are pretty handy. They do what you kind of expect them to do. One of them raises and lowers the chair depending on whether or not you're sitting in it. If you're sitting in it and push it, it goes down. If you get out of it, it pushes it back up again. And the other one locks the chair in the position that you have decided you want it in. So if you were to adjust the back and then turn the lock, it would stay in that position, or you could leave it unlocked and lounge around as much as you like and then sit up comfortably and then lock it into position to sit bolt upright. These screws were the most disappointing for me. They don't slide in and out. I have had chairs in the past that have had this mechanism that allow you to push it in and out, but I guess you can move them ever so slightly depending on your need. This piece of plastic round the back doesn't sit perfectly well, but then it is adjustable so that you can slide in and out as you need. However, the back does not move in and out because these screws hold it rigidly in position. So that's the Songmics Ergonomic Office Chair, which is currently available on Amazon at the moment, and I'll provide a link in the description box below. Give us a wee thumbs up if you fancy, and turn on those notifications. Hit that subscribe button, and remember to tune in to TalkSport on a Wednesday morning at midnight for Inspect Your Gadget with me. Check out techaddicts.uk for more information on our upcoming podcasts. And other than that, take care.